Hi, everyone. It's Jessie with Unlocked. Let me give everyone a second to hop on, make sure that we're live. If you can hear me, then drop a little emoji in the comments. I am streaming through StreamYard, and if you want me to see your comments, it's really easy to give Facebook permission to let me see who's posting. So that's super helpful if you do it. So today we are going to be looking at a case study, a real life deal that yours truly has completed in the last 6 months. So this is a BRRRR deal that we found off market. I'll tell you all about that. We renovated it, rented it. In the process of refinancing, we just got the appraisal back, and then we're going to pull some money out. We're going to do it all again. So I'm going to teach you exactly what that process looks like, and we're going to do it with an actual deal. So this is maybe a little different than what we've done together in the past. It's more abstract. I bring on guests and we kind of talk more conceptual. This is actual step-by-step detail of a real life deal that we did and how you can do it too. So let's go ahead and hop in. If you can hear me, please drop a comment. These are super interactive. As you know, I am here for you. I am not doing this for myself. So if you want something out of this, it means a lot to me that you participate and contribute, and I will teach you everything that I know. Are you guys here? Okay, there you are. So let's go ahead and hop in. So what is a BRRRR deal? So many of you hear this term and you don't actually know what it means. So BRRRR is an acronym. It stands for buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. The idea is that we are buying a property under market value that needs some sort of renovations. Then we do those renovations. We rent it out at a new market rate. We take that whole package of a nicely renovated home and a lease at market rent. We take that to the bank for the second time, and they give us a new loan that is more money than what we have into the project. That's the idea. So I'm actually pulling out cash for a property that we own. So I'm left with none of my own money in the deal. I'm going to show you exactly how we do it. Before we get there, I would like to point out kind of what this looks like. And I won't read you all these definitions, but I will go over these examples. So in example 1, purchase price, this is pretty similar to the deal that we're going to be looking at today. It's something that we definitely see all the time in Columbus, Ohio. Purchase price of $75,000. And if you're paying a wholesale fee, that would include the wholesaler's fee. The renovation costs. How much did you put into the property in repairs? Holding cost. So this is your, finance costs, your utilities, your taxes, everything between the time that it is purchased by you and then rented out by the resident, because at that point your holding costs kind of stop because your resident's paying them. So in this scenario, we're all in for 105. The ARV after repair value is 140,000. And we figure that out by running comparable sales. We can talk to our agent. We can use Zillow. We can use the MLS. But we're looking at what similar properties in similar condition in the same area have sold for in the past, say, 6 months. But if you can get more recent, that's even better. So we have 140,000. And then loan to value is how much will the refinance bank give you in the form of a new long-term, DSCR or conventional loan against your newly renovated property. Typical 75, it was 80%. The higher it is, the more they're willing to leverage against what the property appraises for. So in this case, 75% of 140,000 is that same 105. So look at this. I'm all in for 105 and the bank will give me 105. So I now have zero of my own cash in the deal and I own 25% of this property because it's worth 140. The bank only lent me 105. So I still have that remaining equity. Example 2, I just am highlighting that it works the same. So even if you're thinking, hey, Jesse, I am not in a market where you can buy a property for $75,000, that's fine. The BRRRR concept works the exact same in any market as long as the rent amount supports that mortgage payment. So we'll look at the rents right after this. In this case, $230 purchase price, $60,000 renovation, $10K holding costs. It's going to be a little more because your finance costs are more. The taxes are probably more. The insurance is probably more. So you're going to spend a little bit more money to hold on to this deal. So in this case, it's $300,000 all in. 75% of a $400,000 ARV is that same 300. So look at this. In both of example 1 and 2, you cash out with zero of your own money in this deal. Is that cool? Give me a thumbs up. Give me something in the comments if that is, it's amazing, right? Like the fact that you can own 25% equity in a property without having any of your own money in it is wild. So let's move on to the ongoing cash flow. In example 1, it's all the same numbers, okay? We're looking at $1,250 market rent. Debt service is just the loan amount. It's just your principal and interest only. $775, taxes $75, insurance $50, and then we pull out 5% repairs, 5% vacancies. So in this scenario, we have about $225 in monthly cash flow, and that's accounting for our risk of repairs and our risk of vacancies. So again, no money in the deal, making $225 every month. Example 2, exact same thing. So you're going to have a higher market rent because this property is likely, a bit nicer. It's worth a little more. Your debt service is $225. Taxes are going to be more. So same thing. And you're going to wind up here with about $300 in cash flow. So this is hypothetical. Now we're going to get into, I want to show you an actual real life deal that we just did recently. This is our BRRRR Calculator. I use this in Rentals Made Easy to teach everyone exactly how to do this. I use this in our 90-day challenge. So I want to give you, quick overview of what it looks like. And then I have a simplified version that kind of matches the scenario we just looked at. So let me go ahead and zoom in. We purchased this property on May 1st of this year. It's a cute little 2-1, 850 square feet. Some of our best rentals are small, sturdy, stable. I love a good 2-1. It's Parkwood Avenue in Linden, Columbus, Ohio. So if you're here in Columbus, you probably know Linden well. It's a really high rental neighborhood. Majority of the properties there are rentals. So we fit right in. And then I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. And like I said, I'll show you the simplified version as well. So we bought this from a wholesaler. It was on social media. It was on one of the Facebook groups. So we bought it for $68,000. was slightly less than what the wholesaler was asking. I want to say they were asking 72 maybe. We ended up getting it for 68, and everyone thinks, oh my gosh, these wholesalers, they're so greedy. They just want to make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. On this one, we paid $4,000 to the wholesaler, and it was a win for the seller. It was a win for them, and it's been a win for us. So just, wholesalers have such a negative rap, but I'll tell you, there's some really good deals out there. You just have to know what you're looking for with your buy box. And you have to keep your eyes open. So this 68,000 was including the wholesale fee. We used hard money. I put 10% down for the purchase. Okay. And then my hard money lender covered 100% of our renovation cost. I paid 10.5% APR. I paid that monthly versus annual, lump sum at the end. Closing cost on the first purchase. Remember, we're still here. We're just in buy. We haven't even moved to renovate, rent, refinance, any of that. So just the first closing cost, we paid about $2,300 to the title company. And then we paid another $1,000. It's just a fee that every hard money lender, for the most part, they're going to charge you because they can. So we paid $1,000 to our lender to take out the loan. We also paid a point. So a point is equal to 1 point equals 1% of the loan amount. And I was borrowing 90% of the purchase plus 100% of the rehab. So with all of that in mind, I needed about $11,000 of our own money to close this deal. So, that's the down payment or the gap. We typically will fund the gap with our own money. You can raise money for that if you don't have it. There's plenty of ways you can come up with that money. You can use a HELOC. You can do all sorts of stuff. But we just used, fund the gap. We just used our own money in this scenario. So I didn't have any additional finance costs there. So we have made it through buy. Let's move to renovate. All in, I looked up our exact cost. We paid $39,355 to get this property fully renovated. So we can look up what it looks like. This is about what we do for rental grade rehab. The deck doesn't have to be fancy. It's nice. It's clean. It's safe. You notice there was paneling here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's paneling here. We just went ahead and painted that. It was in good condition. All new lighting, new kitchen. This is a used fridge. It doesn't have to be crazy. This is a affordable housing level rental. So you kind of get the idea. We did do a whole new bathroom, subway tile. That's it looks nice, but also it's incredibly durable. So we like to do this to kind of harden the property. Painted the basement. We cleaned up the backyard a little bit, but really nothing crazy. We did install AC. So that's where we are. That's it. That's what it looks like. And all of that from the starting point through what you just saw in those photos cost $39,000. We used a general contractor, and we did one draw at the end. So $39K. And remember, my hard money lender covered 100% of this. So at the end of the project, I called for my draw. They sent me the money. I sent it to my contractor. During the time that we were renovating the property, we had some cost. We had about $200 in monthly utilities. Property insurance and property taxes were both $60 each. And then we bought it on May 1st. and it was fully renovated and marketed and had a signed lease. Someone moved in by August 24th. So we have all of May, June, July, and most of August. So about 4-month turnaround from purchase, renovation, occupancy. That occupancy is at $1,350 a month. Our taxes and insurance continue. There's no HOA here. So we have moved through rent. We got it rented. Now we have a beautiful package of a newly renovated property and a resident with a market rate lease. So we're going to take those two things. We're going to take them to a new bank, and we're going to say, hey, bank, how much will you give me for this nice little package? How much will you loan me against it? In this case, refi section. So we are closing this at the end of this month. We do already have the full appraisal back. So the full appraisal came back at $153,000. Remember, we paid $68,000 and we put about $40,000 into it. The bank is going to give us 75% of $153,000. It's a 30-year amortization schedule. 8.25% DSCR. Does that hurt? Yes. I will show you shortly that it's okay. The rate does not matter as long as you can still cash flow. So when I underwrote this, I underwrote with a higher rate than I was expecting. And it made sense then. So I'm okay paying 8.25%. When you go to refinance this, it's basically like closing on the house again. So you have a title search. You have to go through the title work again. There are some kind of exceptions that you don't have to pay. So it's a little bit less than when I purchased it. But I do have closing costs again. I also have loan closing costs because this is my second loan on the same property. I'm also paying a point here. I paid a point when I bought it. I'm paying another point when I refinance it. So all of this, everything that we've talked about, gets me to an all-in cost to get rent ready from purchase, all my financing, all my holding costs, all my renovation costs. I paid $117,000 for a property that is now worth $153,000. And again, that 153, I'm not just making that up. This is from a real life appraisal that came back. We had an appraiser. It's not a desktop underwriting. It's not a BPO. You can get away with that on your hard money loan, but you cannot get away with that on your refi. So this is a full appraisal. 153. Bank will give me 75% of that, which is 114. So I am in it for 117. The bank will give me 114. I have some closing costs on the refi as well. All of this taken into account. I have $5,500 of my own money in this deal. Let me zoom in. Zoom. Where's Zoom? There we go. Look at this. All-in cost. I have about $5,500 of my own money into this deal because the bank will give me back a little bit less than what I put into it. That means I created $33,000 in new equity. I created $33,000. And look at the rent section, $1,350. My PITI is my total mortgage, $982. That's principal, interest, taxes, insurance is $982. I'm accounting for the risk. I'm pulling out $135 behind the scenes in my bank account every single month to account for the risks. I'm still cash flowing $233 a month on a property that I have $5,000 into. Is that a pretty sweet deal? Someone's asking the location of the property. This is in Columbus, Ohio. It's in I would say, C class neighborhood, very rental friendly, appreciating. The city's pouring a lot of money into it, and it's majority are renters. So Columbus, Ohio. Tony, do we ever get an appraisal before going to the bank? No. Appraisals right now are about $600. So that is something that I am confident running comparable sales myself. If the appraisal comes back something that doesn't make sense, you can always argue with the appraiser and try to get that bumped up. But I'm not going to spend $600. I feel confident underwriting my ARV. If you don't feel confident, maybe reconsider that that's a red flag on the deal, because if you don't know the value going into it, neither does the appraiser. So y'all throw your questions out. Okay, so someone's asking, any seasoning period to refi? You tried doing it and the banks wanted you to wait 1 year. So a year is crazy. That is not an investor-friendly bank. If you did have a seasoning at 3 months, 6 months, maybe. A lot of the loans we're doing right now are no seasoning. You also need to check seasoning can either be from the time of purchase or the time it's rented out. So seasoning means different things to different banks. So you just want to be cautious of that. But you should be speaking to different lenders who either have a very short or no seasoning. So what we are looking at here in the KPI section, I like to look at, everyone talks about your cash on cash return. If I have 5K into the deal and I'm making 233 times 12 annual, that's about a 50% cash on cash return. That's really good. I like to look at the payback period. So this is saying if I have 5,500 in the deal and I have $233 coming in every month, how many months will it take me to get all of my own money back? So this is about 23 months to get my 5,500 back at this, all the cost in today's money. So these can change. So we'll look at that. What happens on the projections here if your rent goes up annually? If your property taxes and your HOA go up annually, your insurance goes up annually. This is like a down and dirty, really, really quick version of 2 through 5 year projection. So next year, if I raise rents a little, even if my costs go up, I'm still making, almost $100 a month more. Next year. So this is showing the benefit of time. Time in the market is incredible. Definitely compounded year after year. So this is the power of real estate. And I know, you guys, we talked about so much here, but let me show you a really simplified version. And this matches what we were looking at in these slides, okay? We purchased it for 68, renovated for 36, finance and holding costs puts me all in at about 116. Appraised at 153, bank will give me 75%, but they're going to charge me for it. So then about 110 is my new loan amount. In this, obviously there's some rounding going on. So 5,500, 6,200. So I have well under 10K left in this deal. It rents for $1,350, PITI $982. I'm accounting for my risk of maintenance and vacancies, and I'm cash flowing $233. This is the super simple version of all, everything we looked at here. But I want to show you, if you came in doing a conventional loan, they're going to want the bank, is going to want 20% down. So there's no way you could buy the same property for $6,000. I basically bought this property for $6,000 plus created $32,000 in equity. I bought it from a wholesaler. I used hard money. I used a DSCR loan on the backside. This is not rocket science. It's not rocket science. That's what I want to show you here is these deals exist. And is it the perfect BRRRR? No. Is it no, because I left a little money in it. I want you to switch your thinking because not every deal will be the perfect BRRRR, but it's going to be a hell of a lot better than if you put 20% down or if you just never bought it because you had analysis paralysis. The numbers are here. Okay, let's go through. We have some questions. So you guys hop in the comments, have a few more minutes. Again, I am here for you. So ask whatever you want. How do you estimate rehab costs when writing an offer before the contractor walks through it? So you can send the pictures to your contractor. You can send the pictures to your mentor. You can post it on Facebook groups. Dora, you have resources. You have access to all of this. Our group will help you. So post the pictures and the video walkthrough. But ultimately, best practice is to get your contractor through there and have them walk it with you and have them give you a firm estimate and a firm quote. Of course, you'll always have change orders. I mean, I'll say majority of the projects that we do have something come up that we couldn't see during the walkthrough. So account for your potential change orders. Your contractor can help you with the ballpark before they walk it. So can your community as you get more confident. You know, now I can look at a photo set. This is a couple years in. Anyone who's been doing this, even 10, 15 of the same types of projects, you can just look at it. You could just know how much that's going to cost. So yeah, hope that helps. Someone is asking, is this conventional financing? So no, we're using hard money up front and DSCR on the backside. We have plenty of conventional loans. They take longer and the terms are slightly better, but they require quite a bit more on the paperwork side. DSCR is based on the property and the numbers. So they're not really looking at your own financial position. If you guys have any more questions, throw them in the comments. I see Bailey. Thanks for chiming in. If you have anything else. If not, okay. No problem. So it's a lot. This is absolutely a lot. If you want me to jump on a phone call with you and, oh, here we go. Do we have DSCR loan under the LLC? Yes. All of this is done in an entity for sure. So if you are like, oh my gosh, Jesse, this is amazing. You can buy real estate for like basically no money and then you get appreciation, cash flow, blah, blah, blah. And you want to know the next steps in your own situation and you want to hop on a phone call with me, I'm happy to help you with some strategy to help you figure out what is next, what's best for you. So if that's the position that you're in, I would love to help. You just send me a PM right here on Facebook and I will send you my calendar. We can connect. And I'll let you know kind of best next steps for you individually. Until then, I am live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and I will see you next week.